I would like to be famous for climbing the highest mountain in the world. It is called Mount Everest. It is over 8,800 meters tall and is located in the Himalayan range. I have always liked climbing mountains, and Mount Everest is one of the most famous and toughest ones. I get very fit for this mountain. I would inspire other people to follow their dreams by telling about how happy I felt after I achieved my project of climbing Everest.
"12 years later, I made this dream come true. Today, I have summited 10 of the 8,000-meter peaks, and I'm getting ready for the next 2. All of my bags are in Nepal, and Galje needs to sort them out, and it's a bit of a crisis. So I've got 3 different duffel bags with city clothes, climbing clothes, everything in one, and we've lost connection now. So I don't know if I'm going to get anything in Pakistan at this rate. Actually, yeah, no, take it, just in case. I'm Adriana Brownlee. I'm a 22-year-old mountaineer and, I guess, adventure athlete. And I spend my life climbing in the mountains and training for it.
I would say Adriana's a square mind. She always gets what she wants, even if she has to go through people or things together.
This is it. This is the little letter that I wrote. I was 7 or 8 years old at that time, and our teacher asked us for homework to write down our ambition, our dream when we're older. So I was like, I'm gonna climb Everest, because this is the biggest and this is the best.
Just think what you wanted to do when you were small. You wanted to be an astronaut. Just be an astronaut. You can be. Just put it in your mind and do it. Don't get influenced by your parents or this teacher. So,
yeah, so Adriana, from a very young age, had clearly a strong mindset and a lot of focus and determination. And I could see that when we started to train early together. It was only when she was 8 years old that she recognized that she wanted to be quite unique and do something special. And that's really where our journey began. Together, we came up with the idea of doing the 3 peaks at 9 years old. And the challenge typically in the UK is that you climb all 3 within 24 hours. It's a huge achievement for an adult, let alone a 9-year-old child. We'd just been climbing for 19 hours. We sat on the rock at the top. I don't know why, but I just happened to have a thermometer. So I took her temperature and she was borderline hypothermic. So it was pretty clear what we needed to do. I asked Adriana, what decision do you want to make? You're literally 200 meters from the summit, or you can turn and give up the challenge. And this 9-year-old looked back at me and said, Pappy, we need to turn back. And I said, Adriana, that's the decision that's just saved your life, and that will stick with you forever. On the way home, she was already planning the next attempt, so we agreed to go back again and did the challenge in 22 hours. For me, more important than just completing that challenge was the fact that she was able to make that decision and make the right decision.
Climbing Everest is a journey. It takes years to get to this point. 12 years after writing this letter, as well as 12 years of hard work, perseverance, and never giving up on this goal that became like an obsession. And reaching that summit was it was the most overwhelming thing, and I'll never ever forget that moment. On the way down, I remember thinking, okay, what's next? There has to be something after this. Once you reach that high, you can't go back down, otherwise you get lost. After Everest Summit, which was the most powerful moment ever, it was time to plan the new challenges.
Gasherbrum 1 and Gasherbrum 2, which is the Pakistan expedition. The difference here is she's going to be doing them back to back, but without supplementary oxygen. And that's really the next evolution in her climbing career, to take on challenges that are more independent, unique, and closer to a more pure alpine style, where you're not doing it with massive support or logistics. You're there with your climbing partner, and you go hopefully without O2.
I'm really excited for this because it's going to be totally different, the whole process of it all. And I get to go climb with Gelji again, which is always the best thing.
I met Adri in Pakistan for when we doing the K2 Winters 2021, and she also came there for the training. Sun is nice. After that, we planning to do climbing together, and we start to climbing from 2022. We climbing together 8,000 meters.
Gelji is special. I've never met someone as skillful and as good a climber as him, but also who has the personality he does. You'll walk into a room and everyone is just in tears with laughter. I think he's hilarious. Are we going up or not?
I'm not sure.
On the mountains, having a partner that you trust is probably the most important thing, unless you're a solo climber. I'm very lucky to have him as a partner because he's just exploded now in the climbing world. He's famous for his rescues and his K2 winter achievements and all of this, and I'm the one that gets to climb with him, so it's very cool. He's carrying a whole body on his back, plus that guy's oxygen, plus his oxygen, plus all his backpack supplies. In the end, it would have been 150 kilos at 8,300 meters on his own. I mean, who does that? The Jeep trip starts from the hotel early morning. For me, it's one of those moments to actually just relax before the trip begins, because I know that the hard trek is coming. I just wanted to chill. We were playing music, Pakistani music. And then at the end, when you're reaching Ascoli, is when it gets a bit sketchy on the roads. And that part is probably more dangerous than the climb itself, but it adds to the adventure. And then Paju, Honduras, Gorju, Concordia, and then base camp. Mountaineering, I think in the last 5 years, has changed dramatically, especially the higher mountains. It's become a trend to do big challenges in life.
I don't want this. Is already green one, not good taste. I don't want it.
It's not a good one. Tastes weird. So lunch, we would get a pre-made plastic bag of food. It was potato and egg, and that was it. It's potato time. Sometimes you're lucky you got a chocolate bar. I was never lucky.
Up and down. Pakistani flat, like this.
Yeah, I've done this trek 3 times, and each time it's just worth it. It's raw. That's the only way to describe it. I mean, the scenery is incredible. Like, I've never seen anything like it in all the travels that I've done. Fucking, I stepped in the mud. Look at my gloves, they're ruined. 1 out of 10, just like the potato. There's 14 8,000-meter peaks in the world across Nepal, China, and Pakistan, and each one is totally different. The 8,000s of Pakistan, they're just like these spiky pinnacles, dark mountains. They're very rocky. It feels like a lot scarier and a lot darker. So it attracts a lot of crazy people. It's true adventure out there. You know, you don't have the safety out there. You can't just call a helicopter if something goes wrong. It's just you and the mountains and your partner. It's a lot more epic out there. Today we had the worst packed lunch. Potato, egg, and drink for a 10-hour day. When I'm home in London with my parents, I'll train every day. And because we're in the city, I don't have the mountains here. So I will go to my local gym.
Even when she was 5 or 6 years old, she'd wake early at 5 a.m. And that's typically when I would wake to go to the gym. So I would take her there and let her run off her energy while I was doing the training. So she was kind of exposed to that environment. And really then we've kind of worked in parallel together. I've helped coach Adriana all the way through until sort of 17, 18.
She's got to be really fit to get up the mountain. She's got to be really well acclimatized to the high altitude as well. So here we're looking to cover off both bases at the same time. Training hard, but doing it all at high altitude as well. All the way through, come on, another 10 seconds, speed out there, 250, 260 at least. Let's get the next speed up from there, let's go, all the way through. Speed that on it, let's go, final 5 seconds. Final 3, 2, 1, and relax.
On the weekends, I go with my father to a place called Box Hill. A beautiful, hilly, green areas, and you run up in that endless times, and that's the perfect training. He was the one that would wake me up in the mornings when I really didn't want to go out running, and I think I was his little project in a way. At the end of the day, I was so inspired by him, his mindset and his drive and motivation to stick to something and be the best at it. That's what I wanted to do as well. I wanted to be like that. When I was a kid, I was always quite superstitious. My challenge coming up these stairs was if I could make it to the top without taking a break or stopping running, then I would summit Everest successfully and I wouldn't die along the way. It's a relief to get to base camp. First thing we did was just set up the tents, set up our little homes and just relax and eat some good food.
We are now G2 base camp. Just arrived yesterday. Hopefully after 2-3 days, if good weather, we can go Camp 1. This year project is without oxygen. We're doing G1, G2.
I really wanted to climb without oxygen. That was my main mission. The team that we were going with, they were all climbing with oxygen, and it didn't quite work with our schedule, but I think there was a lot of pressure. They told us that we have to go as a team, and that meant that we had to go for a summit push with zero acclimatization.
15 we can take rest here in C1.
Yeah.
And 16 go to G1 Camp 2, 17 go to G1 Camp 3, and 17 in the night try to summit, and 18 morning summit. 17 and 18 also good. Just the plan.
Yeah, that's a good plan for Oxy, but without Oxy, it's a bit tight. In the back of my mind, I'm just thinking like, this is dangerous, you know? If I go up without acclimatization, I don't know how my body's gonna react.
Let's see. 7,000 and 8,000 with no rotation, easy peasy.
We decided we'd rather climb with a team than on our own. The chances are that I'm gonna have to use oxygen and it's gonna really upset me, because that's not what I wanted to do. In the evening, it opened up, and you could like properly see Gasherbrum 1. When you first see the mountain, it's like feels like powerful, you know, like you are nothing. And you start making stories in your head of what could happen, visualizing yourself up there on the peak. That's the most important thing for me, is that when you have that first glimpse, it's like, oh, okay, it's getting real.
Sexy atmosphere.
What do you think it takes to climb 8,000? What qualities do you need?
Someone like just looks strong, but they are not strong in the mountains. They have to like prepare from the mental. We have to be like with a good climbing partner. We have to motivate each other also. That's the important things for the climbing.
So when I pull on the harness.
We are in Italy, in the mountains, in the Alps, doing some training, some crevasse rescue and rope skills, ready for Pakistan, just to refresh. It's good to know what to do in the worst case scenario. So here we are. It's nice weather, thank God. We are with Paolo from Italy, our guide. So he's gonna show us the tricks of the trade and get us safe climbers.
If something goes wrong up there, you need to know how to save yourself or save someone else. That's crucial for me, to go out there and just refresh those things. Because things like knots, like learning it is like in one ear and out the other. Like I forget after 2 weeks of not doing it. From base camp to Camp 1, you have to go through the ice fall. It's a 9-hour journey through ice towers, crevasses, a bowl of popcorn, and you're like a tiny ant inside. And you know that if there's a crevasse that's covered with snow and you do one wrong step, you'll be straight down there, and it's really hard to get out. That part was the most worrying of the whole expedition.
got to Camp 1. That was where the plans were made between the Sherpas. In the end, it was decided that a team would go up and start fixing before us. So they went up and it was a full day of fixing as a team.
I think maybe right side is better, huh? Huh? Yeah. Yes.
That part is always scary for me. Waiting at Camp 1, LJ to go up and just like peeking out every 5 minutes, is he coming back? Because it's risky to fix the lines. There's not as much safety up there.
Oh, but huh? This ice condition is no good for the ice crew.
Yeah, very good.
Galjay's always at the front, always, so that bit's nerve-wracking, but he has to do it. He's like so talented and people rely on him.
Quite windy outside, so that's why we planning to go up today if weather's good. If not, and we stay here today, and tomorrow we move to Camp 2, day after Camp 3, back to Camp 1, and Sunday. Ho! Ho! Let's go.
Okay, bye-bye. Good luck. Good luck a lot, Ni.
When I'm on an 8,000 meter peak, nothing else matters. And then it's just you, and it's just the snow and the ice, and making sure you're safe, looking after your body and your partner, and that's it. And essentially you're playing with life and death, which adds to it all, to the excitement, to the adrenaline. Like you're literally walking on that thin line between survival and death. Women on the mountains, I found that people are so supportive in the mountaineering industry. And yes, it's male dominated, but once you're on that mountain, nothing matters. Like no one cares who you are. No one actually knows who you are. That's one of the things I love about it. So we went up to Camp 2. We knew that there was a really nice weather window coming up. It was like now or never kind of feeling inside, and it was a gamble, really. So we decided to stick with the team and keep going. I got to 7,400. Just suddenly, like, my stomach just totally malfunctioned. This was when you have to make smart choices, especially if you're going without oxygen. So we decided that we had to get back down to Camp 3 and abort the summit push. Up till then, I had never failed on a summit push. At the point, we'd been at 7,000 meters for too long. Like, our bodies were just depleted. But I tried again, and I got 5 meters. And then I turned around, and I was like, okay, this is it, over, get back down.
Started walking on our second attempt, and felt like I was gonna throw up any second. Feel weak. Gonna go down to base camp and rest and eat something, because I haven't eaten well in 3 days now. And try again. I don't want to give up yet, but maybe only one of the Gasherbrum is possible. Feeling shit. Feeling like I should have gone with my gut and done proper rotation to acclimatize instead of just going straight up.
Sometimes you have to cry, and sometimes you have to let it out, and that's what I did. LJ genuinely didn't know if I was going to be able to go up or not. I could see that he was worried for the first time,
And this made me worried because it's Galje and he's never worried. So I really wanted to stay up, and I was getting messages from my parents saying, like, you need to stay up there, you've done all the hard work already. Fundamentally, Galje was right, that I couldn't do it. But when we got back to base camp, he was like a different person. He knew that we were going to go back up again. He's the one that pushes me to keep going and to carry on. Rested at base camp for a few days, and then we came back up to Camp 1. I was already in my sleeping bag, and Galje was just boiling some last bit of water. Boom, in the tent. All I saw was flames everywhere. And I had no idea what was going on, and I was just like in total panic mode. Galje threw my body out of the tent, and I just landed like face first into the snow. Other people, because they heard me screaming, threw snow onto the like front of the tent, and then like the fire went out. The whole like front half of the tent was gone.
I'm shaking.
Fire in the tent. Fuck.
The worst thing was that we had 12 AP gases and 2 oxygen bottles. If those got caught in the fire, we would have been dead, like 100%. We made it to like just below the summit. Galje trailblazed the whole way without oxygen.
I lost foot. Oxy. Fuck's sake. Absolutely dead.
The last thing that I wanted to do was put on that oxygen mask. You feel like you've let yourself down a little bit. It was more about completing this mountain in the safest way possible.
To the summit. Finally.
Almost there now.
Summit of G2, 8,000er, number 11. That was the worst one.
Second time, today's second day.
Camp 1 after G2 summit 2 days ago. Feeling exhausted. It was so hard. We did it. And in a few days, we'll try for G1. Trying to eat as much as I can. My stomach's not great, but we plow through. Not so long left until we finish in Pakistan.
And I decided that this would be the one that I'm going to try without oxy. The duff zone is anywhere that's above 8,000 meters. No life can survive at that altitude, including yourself. Without oxygen, it just amplifies everything. And inside, you feel like you shouldn't be there.
Summit fish. I don't even know how many hours we've been going, but it feels like forever. And I'm still not close. Jeez.
We shouldn't have actually gone up this summit push. It was really high avalanche risk. But we had like major summit fever. We were going slow and we reached one point. Galje just shouted, "Avalanche!" We couldn't tell if it was like a dangerous avalanche or it was just light powder snow. It passed over us and it was just very light powder. After that, we realized like, oh, we shouldn't be here.
G1 summit. No oxy. Finally, we did it.
Woo. We reached that goal and that mission, everything like calms. And then I realized like, I've just summited an 8,000 meter peak without oxygen, and it was like pinch yourself moment. Like, it was phenomenal. Just to see them there with the tea and the biscuits, and like, you know that's safety, that was the relief. We laughed about what we had just achieved.
Congratulations, Adri.
We remembered like the worst parts of it.
Congratulations.
Very soon after, the worst parts, you forget. And then you want to go back and do it again. After Pakistan, I went back home and I got news that China had opened its borders.
Welcome back.
And that was a possibility to go and climb in Tibet, my final 2 8,000ers. Choyu and Shisha Pangma. So we went for Choyu first. We had a weather window coming up, and again, it was the same situation as Pakistan. It was just, you have to go. I put on oxygen again, and it was 4 in the morning when we summited. It was pitch black, I didn't see anything. And then came back down the same day to base camp and it was finished. And it went like this. For the first time, I realized this is not what I want to do. It felt so rushed, and I didn't enjoy 1 second of the whole expedition. Planning for Everest took 4 years, and that's how it should be done. I had the time of my life on that mountain. I had to keep the record thing for the sponsors, but inside, I just wanted to enjoy the mountains. I did the 10, and then I did the Gasherbrums. It went downhill, and all the records started coming out. From this came like a whole different change in the industry, in the 8,000 meter peak climbing. It literally just became people trying to break records and trying to stand out and be famous. My plan moving forward, and something that I've discussed with Gelje, is that we are going to focus on our trekking and expedition company. Once a year, we're going to come up with our own project and plan like properly expedition style from start to finish. Shisha Pangma will always be there in my mind, and it's just a matter of waiting for the perfect moment. But my plan at the moment is just to go back to why I started climbing when I was 8 years old. And it wasn't to make a record, it was just, I wanted to climb Everest. It was as simple as that.
Mosquito sound. Oh, there we go.
Is it a good soundtrack?